Hey guys, welcome back. This is Lucid, and we're jumping back into our game with Lemuria. It's turn 63. And last episode at the end, I had said, well, maybe we're not going to record all the episodes going here on out. Because it's a little repetitive, but this is pretty exciting this turn. So, um, yeah, a few things. Raven Feast, I don't know if I mentioned this last time. I got 12 gems from casting it on Marignon's Cap after I've been destroying the population. Here I got 7. This is more than I remember. And if you look at the... I forget where it is. I think it's Conjuration. Yeah, 400 corpses gives about 10. Okay, so there must have been a shit ton. Anyway, 100 gives 5. Pretty good deal if you have high air mages. Anyway. Definitely something to consider. I think, like, especially, too, if you have air on your pretender for Lemuria, might not be bad. Have an air 4 guy spamming it out once you have Conjuration. I mean, this is a fair amount of air income. Okay, coming down, Wizard Tower we cast, Living Castle, so I got 2 more forts. Coming down here, we see that a war has finally broken out with Satis and Hinnom, and that kind of, I think, happened... God, I hope I recorded last episode, or last turn, but there's a chance I forgot. I don't remember really talking about the Satis war, but so Gath has Cloud Trapezed on top of... or teleported, excuse me. He teleported Magoth, which is an archdevil, and this guy is going to be doing Firestorm. And this guy is going to be in front, kind of just causing distractions. And he's got a Wraith Sword, which is odd versus Skelly Spam because it doesn't really work. And then MR Gear. So, let's see what happens. On Satis' side, there's basically going to be some Banefire getting shot out. Banefire, you'll be able to see it. It's not going to be super accurate. It says green things popping up. Yeah, not accurate. There's a Banefire. Some of this probably could be fixed, but he has the Banefire casters all the way back here. And I think his... Oh no, they're at the front. They're at the front, okay. I thought he had the Reborn up at the front. So, they get all caught up on this guy. I don't know if they're on attack... I guess they're on attack closest. If they made it back here... Magoth is not going to be terribly easy to kill, so I don't really know. Fast forward here. But this guy ends up kind of taking a beating. He doesn't have terribly high protection. He's got Ethereal. But meanwhile, all the mages are just getting torched back here. So anyway, that was the battle. If we look at the result, basically they killed everything. Almost all the mages, a lot of the Sarumancers. These guys are expensive too, so there's a lot of gold down the drain for Satis, or freeing up upkeep, depending on how you look at it. Over here, Caelum has a golem, apparently. He's discovered golem tech. And apparently his construction 8. He's got the Horror Harmonica. Everybody's favorite item, Horror Harmonica golems. That's going to be annoying. Fortunately, it's not good to the planes on him, but it's okay. I do need to... I'm not actually sure the best way to deal with Horror Harmonica golems. I think air elementals might be. Generally, you want something that's going to fly and zap the shit out of them at the beginning of combat. But these horrors, actually, they have high protection, so my magic weapons don't really get through. So I really need mage support to kill them. So anyway, we'll just... The horrors aren't on his side, so once they've scared all my dudes off or eaten them, they're going to turn on this guy. Yeah, I hit him and then he zaps home. So, a little annoying. And that means he's gonna cloud or teleport on top of me again. Oh man, I actually missed something about that. His white mage came down here. Let's see where his white mage is. Actually, there's some things I gotta change on this turn. I don't think I figured out the white mage was here. It's like, where did he go this turn? Anyway, he's gonna kill all my ghosts. Oh, we actually won that. So he retreats out. Let's go see where this guy was. Like, whoops. Possible he could have died. Hard to say. Okay, so then coming down, we search for magic sites. We don't find any. Atlantis, their scouts are popping up. I think this is their last turn. I think I killed them this turn. Satis, this is the main army he has moved in to attack Gath. And he's got my Staff of Storms, which I forged for him. He's got a bunch of Sauromancers. And he's got a Flame Spirit, which I'm guessing is going to do Fire Fend. You really need... Fire Fend helps a lot versus Firestorm, but you really need Army of Gold. You really do. To be immune. Fire Fend helps, but I don't think it will block it. Especially for low protection mages, it's not going to save them. So I don't see anybody here with Earth. Yeah, unless the Lamia Queen has it. Let's check for the Lamia Queen real quick. I don't think Lamia Queens can get Earth, but she's the only one whose paths I'm not completely sure about. Did I miss it? Where is she? Here she is. Yeah, she doesn't. So it's going to be a bit tricky. I think this army is going to get stomped, but at some point you got to make a play. So Satis is going to make a play. And like, look, even if you lose, it's better to like make a play and lose to Gath than it is to sit there and do nothing. If nothing else, it gets you out of the game faster, so you can go start another one. But you can see we're doing some more raiding. So I don't know. I definitely commend him for making an effort to make a play. A lot of players, when they're having a rough go of it, they'll just sit there in their fort and like do intern or whatever. Not a lot, but sometimes. It's really annoying, to be honest. We've got a short little battle. Yeah. It's kind of like a low effort way to play, but it just makes the game really boring too for everyone else. It's much better to just go downstream. Unless you're getting attacked and the most damage you can cause to somebody is by sitting inside your fort, in which case you gotta do that. We got enough chaff here. We got wrecked. So, Pythium has chosen to keep this tart on top of my fort. The amount of gear on them, we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 gems of gear. And then these are going to be expensive for him. I mean, because you've got the 10 gems for the tart, and then probably another 25 or something for Gift of Reason, probably. So, I don't know. It's almost like 100 gem investment total. Anyway. Coming down, we have a battle with it. Now, on his side, it's just the tart. On my side, we have a 4 penetration Astral 4 Grand Lemur. Some slight misplace here. These guys should have been on top of each other. Okay, these guys look immediately out. Check. But we've got skeletons coming in, and the skeletons don't have morale, so we don't have to worry about them running. And we've got an enslaved mind going. He's alternating, if we look here, he's alternating between Soul Slay, Enslaved Mind, Paralyze. It's kind of interesting how it selects different things, because I'm kind of familiar with how the spellcasting AI works, and it gives each spell a rating. I don't know what causes it to trip. I mean, obviously when they're paralyzed, it's going to choose other things, but he basically is just going to sit here one freaking time, and then just at the end we end up converting him to a slave mind. So I would call that a W. Big fat W. Yoink. Thank you, sir. And so now she's ours. And out of that battle, we got the Rhyme Hallbrook, which is kind of nice. Coming down here, Caelum successfully raids me. I raid. Caelum raids me here. We catch one of Caelum's raids here and are successful, I think. We've barely got enough stuff here to kill most of his troops. I don't know if we're going to have enough to kill this guy's now. No, we don't. Okay. Well, we get most of his troops, so not most. We got a fair amount. And we got one of the Harab Seraphs, so that's okay. It's fine. We get attacked here. Again, this is costing him like 100 gold just to do this raid. Because these gladiators are all going to disappear after combat, and they're coming down. So Statist, this was the group that teleported in, I think. I can't remember it. Maybe Magoth ran from the last fight, so he bumped into these guys in the mobile phase. Anyway, he gets wrecked. So that's definitely a win for Statist. It's not worth all the units he lost in the other fight, but pretty nice of him to take that down. Because Magoth is the only one of the Archdevils who can Magic Phase move, so. Coming down here, we defeated these guys, basically just some Nead chaff coming in. And then over here, we're continuing to raid Pythium. Over here, Pythium raids us. Here we fail at raiding Caelum. This is kind of cool. So the Master of Games has come into play. And by come into play, I mean we have very inefficient thug. So he's got 5, 15, 25, 35, 40 gems of gear on him. It's an interesting chassis because he's got Hero's Blade, which does 3 times damage versus larger. So if he's fighting a size 3 unit, he'll just tear it up. So you definitely got to be careful who you throw against this guy. And he's got Skill of the Gladiator, which causes basically blindness through eye loss. And I think this is what? Armor negating? Yeah. So pretty scary dude in melee. He's going to be fatigue neutral, I believe. Yeah, because he's reinvigoration 7 with encumbrance 3. So pretty scary, and he's got, regeneration. His weakness is MR. He's only got 12. So we'll probably just mind hunt him. But anyway, he is obviously going to be able to kill ghosts. Coming down here, we raid Caelum. We raid Caelum successfully. A scout of Atlantis has disappeared. And we have some fort battles with Atlantis now. So these are the final. Atlantis is AI at this point, so I'm getting AI last turn or turn before. But so passes all dudes in that fort. We lost the Shadow Tribune, very sad. Over here we have the final battle for Atlantis. And there's just one man in here, so and so that's that. We lost 91, which is about the fewest we've lost to to Purgatory in some time. We got a 400 gold vent, some air gems, some misfortune. Sea Dogs attack Gath. And then let's see what he's got. These guys on my border. Let's see what they're kitted with. I assumed the Lich was kind of here sight searching. Yeah, he's got him on retreat. This guy's he's got preaching, so. Got our disease dude moving. I think this is our disease dude moving around. And then importantly, Atlantis has been permanently vanquished. At the end, he did not rule a single province and now has nowhere to return. So that is the end of that. Now, in terms of moves, there's some cool stuff we're doing. One of the things we're doing is we're going to be mind hunting the Gladiator, or the Master of Games, out. The other thing we've got a bunch of cool stuff actually going on this turn. The White Mage's Clan. I was thinking this is kind of interesting too. I skipped this. The Mind Hunt was successful on his Immortal, Amarata. So he was teleporting in this Davia or whatever of the Shooting Stars to try to block my Mind Hunt. But my Mind Hunt triggered before his teleport did. Interesting. Potentially I could try to send somebody after this guy. Like teleport in a thug killer or something. I just don't think it's worth it. He's going to script him to retreat, and I'd rather not. We could go underwater. That's probably fine. We'll send him underwater. Because this group will make short work of a thug. Then, but the other thing we did last turn, I think I mentioned I was kind of thinking about doing these baits, but I moved a huge army on top of Agartha. I'll just show you what it looks like here. We don't have a ton of mage support. We've got this guy for Foul Vapors. We've got this guy just to do Rigor Mortis, I think. We've got these guys just to be dust spammers. In case he sends in a thug. And I've got this add up to the Iron Order to do Army of Golden stuff. So that's basically that. Anyways, 900 troops. We one turn popped it, so we'll be hopping off and setting a trap. So these guys are basically almost all going to move over here onto this fort and proceed to one turn pop it. And meanwhile, we are going to keep these guys here, Sackney and Meadmaker, who are going to pop Wind of Death a few times. I also hit these nearby forts, and I was kind of thinking, if I lock these nearby forts, if I lock all of them down, which I didn't get this one, if I lock them all down, then maybe I just storm the fort. Because I could maybe take it. But I think what I'm going to do is try to lure him into like a final battle. And, not a final battle, but like a major battle. And then hit him with Wind of Death. These guys snuck in, so he won't see that these guys are here. But it will definitely at least cross this player's mind that I may do this. But I've cracked the fort. If he loses Agartha, he's in trouble. I think in many ways his hand is forced. So we'll see. He also flames from the sky. I just want to start making him do desperate things. Like, yeah, and just start bleeding him out. Because right now, Pythium's bleeding out, but I'm not really bleeding out Caelum. Caelum, I think, is stable, but in a depressed state. Pythium is actually bleeding out. But starting to do things like this, it's going to make him start doing crazy shit. And spending a lot of gems, and teleporting things around, and like potentially moving big armies out of his forts. All that is going to be nice. Now, coming over here, we are going to plan on having a mighty nice little confrontation over here. Dropping Army of Gold, Foul Vapors, all of this business. Rigor Mortis. So anyway, that's going to be happening here in White Harbor. And we'll basically have just gotten off of this pile. And we're going to be doing something similar over here. I'm going to move enough troops on top of Panopia. And here we're also doing Summon Earth Power, Army of Gold, Ground Army. They've got two queens of air, whatever you call it, up here. If he chooses to do Wrathful Skies, we could be in some shit. But, you know, you only live once, guys. And we can afford to lose this. But what I'm hoping will have happen is he sends like a little force out or something, or maybe even his army, but not fully prepared and gemmed up or whatever for all the big battlefield spells. And we kill it. And then next turn, he's forced into like a desperate move to drive me off and starts casting flames from the sky and shit. So I actually want him to flames from the sky me and like take this out, because this, if we don't lose much of this army, it will be enough to pop this fort. And then I'm going to be able to do the same trick here, where he's going to have to send his army to deal with me. And actually, I probably should send Waywinkle over here too. Let's send Waywinkle. And Waywinkle, I think we're just going to hit with... Well... we're doing Rigor Mortis. We actually, if I put this thing on him, we can actually do Grip of Winter. It's not going to be super strong, but we are actually in our... The other reason I'm moving an army in over here is this is now in my dominion. His fort, his temple, he's probably got a shit ton of priests in there. My dominion. Thank you very much. So we're going to move all these idiots in. Should pop it. Either we have a battle, which I think I'm in a position to win. And then... Oh, it's summer too. Okay, early summer. Anyway, which I think I'm in a position to win, but I'm probably not going to fight because I'm going to get hit I'm going to get hit by flames from the sky. So we'll just move this army around. Trying to bait that out. And yeah. What else? So we have these two forts now over here. We're going to be moving in enough guys to pop this fort also this turn. I think. It'll be close. It depends how much we lose. If I don't lose anything, I think I will. Ideally, I'd move people from this fort over here too, but I just don't think I can. Anyway. But yeah, over here it's going to be... Caelum's basically had to pull almost all his forces to this side of the Empire. And me attacking him on this flank with an army, where he's actually going to have major forces over here, is going to be pretty significant. I'm really getting to the point now where I think Caelum is really being spread thin. And I think whereas before he was stable, he's about to get to the tipping point of no longer stable. But we'll see. If I win one major fight over here, it's going to be a downward spiral, because he's going to start losing major ground. But yeah, it's been a fun war with Caelum, kind of. I mean, it's been annoying a little bit, but I mean, we've really been jousting, and I've definitely felt with him, if I overextend, you know, a lot of times when you're playing, it's what I call shadow boxing, which is you're fighting against your own mental projection of the enemy. And when they're not doing things you assume they're going to do, it's a little annoying, because if you play more cautiously because you're expecting them to play the correct moves and they don't do it, you could have gotten away with a lot more if you didn't play cautiously. Like, you could have killed them faster, taken fights you otherwise are going to have to back down from, etc. But anyway, that's just been one of the fun things fighting Caelum, is like, you know, you're not really shadowboxing. You know, like, if you're lucky, you're going to think of all the things he's thinking of, but you're not really going to be conservative, because he's going to take almost all the good moves he can. So anyway, that's kind of been fun. Brandflakes is here with his assassin gear, but nobody to assassinate this turn. We're going to go ahead and knock down this lab. And I think that's most of the major moves. The big play here is Agartha. The other big play is here. Yeah. I want to be... I think my play is basically conquering Pythium and then taking this. I think this is my path to victory. This is not a ton of Dominion. One thing I could look at doing is doing stone idols and trying to get their Dominion out of here. And once I get their Dominion out, I can move an army on top. Like, that's an idea. And I do have these wood hinge druids. So maybe I move... If I can find them, where's Fligger? Here they are. So maybe I go ahead and do that in case we need to make this play. I'm going to go ahead and move some of these guys over here. And we'll go ahead and get them in this fort in Elkland. And then if we choose to, we can make a bunch of stone idols and have them preach on top of this. And I could even make a little bit of stealthy gear for them. And then we can occasionally raid it so that we know they don't have a lot of PD or something. And that'll get our Dominion hopefully in there. Or at least get theirs out. So that I think is the play. And if we do that, I'm not, and like these troops don't even matter, to be honest. So like Army of Gold and all these troops count for nothing. So I think we do that. I think that's our play to kind of close the game out. I just need to get the Dominion depleted down here. And then in the meantime, we'll just be killing people. But I don't think... Like, this army literally doesn't matter. The only thing we have to worry about is Purgatory and Flames from the Sky. So a lot of this is just going to be a distraction to start baiting out Flames from the Sky, start getting them to do desperate things. And then I might have to lose 1 or 2 armies to Flames from the Sky before this actually works. But as long as there's not Purgatory up, I feel kind of okay moving a big army on it, because it might take a few tries. But if I'm having a big army in his Dominion, well, yeah, it might not go well. So anyway, we'll see. And I don't know what his fire gem situation is. I bet he has a bank. I bet he can cast it like probably 2 or 3 times right now at least. We'll find out though. But yeah, things are going pretty damn well. And we're about done with the turn. I'll just show you score graphs. Like, look at provinces just going through the roof here. Income. Look how rich I am, guys. 3,800. The deed is basically done. I'm building infrastructure like crazy. I've got a fort coming up here. These forts are getting upgraded. I've got a fort coming up here. This fort's getting upgraded. This fort's getting upgraded. I've been building temples in all the forts that I've been summoning. Like, I summoned this turn. I got another fort I'm summoning here this turn. And this will start putting my Dominion pressure over here. And it's also going to give me just a lot of avenues to attack this throne from Caelum. And then on the other front, over here, I built this with Wizard Tower, and then we've got another one I'm going to be casting right here this turn. So, all in all, we're going to just mow through Pythium, basically. Nice thing about putting these Wizard Towers up here in Pythium's cap circle is he doesn't really have an army to take it back from me. Like, it would take... He just doesn't really have the ability to take it. He doesn't have enough chaff to break those fort walls down. So we put it up. It's basically permanently ours. And, like, once I have these two, with them cranking out, you know, my Dominion with my forts, just get out of here. We're gonna slow roll. And we can do it pretty regularly. Every other turn, we can drop a fort from our Earth Gems. We may have to take a break if we decide to do Stone Idols, which I'm kind of leaning towards. I'm kind of feeling like Stone Idols with some stealth gear is going to be a play. So anyway. Let's see what else. The other thing is I'm a little worried. I was worried about a golem coming in here. I'm not actually anymore. The Horror Harmonica golem, because he could teleport inside, but it can't get from his capital all the way out here. It could get over here. Where's this guy cloud trapezing to? White Harbor? Okay, so this guy's cloud trapezing on top of White Harbor. The golem can't come here. It could go inside. I don't really care. If it goes inside, it's fine. If I'm going to fight all the stuff that is inside, not to kill it, just to Wind of Death at all. I'll just clear out all this chaff. What I expect to happen is he moves the golem here. We fight it, but I should be okay because I'm doing air elementals at the start. But you never know about these things. Mass flight would be really good, but we won't have that for... Oh shit! Oh no, we get it this turn, so that'll be nice. Yeah, mass flight will definitely help with the golems. But even one or two big horrors is pretty bad news for Lemuria. We've got to think about how we deal with our ghost morale. But I think one air elemental summoner will protect us here, and then here I don't have to worry about it. So anyway, I think we're good to go on this front. And otherwise, we're just going to be continuing to raid. We're going to do kind of a little trap. I'm going to have Grand Lemur plus some troops over here for if he does like a budget breakout. I think we'll be able to take him. If he moves these guys to knock these idiots off, we should be able to kill him. Is this the outer throne? Yeah. So all in all, I would say things are going pretty swimmingly. And with that, I guess we'll see you next turn. Take care.